Hello guys, so in this session we will see how to create a new database, and after we create a new database, what do we need? We need a table, and then we need to insert the records into that table. Okay, so let's get started. uh, so the first thing that you need to do is you need to log in to the PG admin tool, and after that, if you see, currently by default there is just one database with the name postgres, and I want to create a new database. So how do I create a new database? All I need to do is right click on databases, select create and databases, and the moment I select the database, I need to provide a name to the database. So let's say I provide my name to the database. So what I'll do is I'll just say that this is a Srikant DB or just Srikant, in whichever way you can put the name as per your requirement. The next thing, if you see, nothing else needs to be done, but just one thing: the moment we create the DB, automatically this code is getting generated. Again, this code is not much relevant, so I'm just telling you that this will get generated automatically the moment we select the DB name. And then all I need to do is click on the save button. So once I create the database, the second thing that I need is I need to create a table, and the third thing is I will need to insert the values into that table. Okay, so what I will do, I'll just right click on Shrikant, which is the name of my database, and select query tool. Then I will be redirected to this page. So this part of the screen you can use as a scratch pad, and this is the part wherein you can put the queries and the output would reflect here. Okay, so how do we create a new table? So we can see this is the syntax for creating a new table, and this syntax, as you can see, this is for inserting the values into that particular table. Okay, now let us have a look at the syntax for creating the table. So the syntax for creating a table is create table. This is like we say in the everyday language, create table. So that's the syntax. That is the function used for creating a table. Employees is the name of the table. I've got the first column, that is employee ID. So let's say I'm the employee of the organization. So there must be a primary key. So when I say primary key, so in simple words, primary key means unique key. That what that means is if you are assigning a particular employee code to one employee, then same employee code cannot be used to other employee. That means it has to be unique. Okay, two because two employees cannot have the same employee code. So that's why we have marked this as primary key. I hope you are clear until this part. That there are few other columns also. We have got first name, which has got varchar. Second, the next column is last name, again which has got varchar data type. Then we have department, job title. Then we have salary column, which has got decimal as a data type, and that is 10 comma 2. What does that mean? That means the salary for the employees can be maximum 10 digits, and comma 2 means that after the decimal there can be maximum 2 digits. The next column that we have got is hire date, and for this hire date, obviously we all know what is hire date, but the data type for the hire date is date. Okay, so this is how we are creating the table. So this is the structure of the table. We can say that I don't think it's difficult at all. And and after we create this table, it's important that we insert the values into that table. So for inserting the values, we have got this particular table. So if you have a look at the syntax for inserting the data into the table, what we have is insert into. Okay, so it's very simple. If you think about the syntax, it's very straightforward, just like we use in the everyday language. For creating a table, create table. For inserting the data into the table, we have got insert into. So it's very straightforward, right? Easy to remember as well. So insert into employees. Employees is the name of the table that we have created, and then we are putting the name of the columns: employee ID, first name, last name, department, job title, salary, hire date, values. Okay, and then we are using the values. So what do we see in the value section? We see that these are the employee codes: first name, last name. Then we have this as a department, this is the job title, this is the salary, and this is the hire date. So that's how there are 50 records that we are going to insert. Okay, so let's just see whether it really works. So what you need to do is you just need to click on this play button in order to execute this query and to ensure that this table gets created and these records are also gets inserted into the table. So I'll just need to click on this play button. So the moment I click on this play button, as we can see, that query returned successfully, okay, and insert 0 to 50. So let's just see if this is really working. How do we check that? What I'll do is I'll just right click on my DB and select query tool, and then so now we will run a simple select query and see if the table is actually created or not. So how do we do that? Just put a simple query, select star from what was the name of the table that we created? Employees, right? So I'll use the employees table, and then I'll put a semicolon and I'll run this query. The moment I click on this play button, it should give me the table, and star means all the rows. So let's just see. The moment I run this, I can see that this table has been created, and we are observing that there are 50 rows. So that means we confirm that as expected all the 50 rows have been created. Okay, now the next thing that we want to learn is we have created this particular table. Okay, now let's just say that I want to learn how to use the select queries. So we have already seen the first query wherein I have used the star or the asterisk. Okay, so what does that mean? So when I say select star from employees, that means all. Star means all the columns in this particular tables are selected, and that's why we are able to see all the columns in the table. But let's just say that I am not interested in all the columns. The data analysis that I am doing, for that, let's just say that I am interested in only three columns. Let's say employee ID, job title, and the salary. These are the three columns I am interested in. So what I will do is I'll update my query accordingly. So what I will do is, instead of star, I will mention select employee ID, job title, comma, hire date, from which table? From the employees table. So I'll just mention this as employees table, and then I'll select this query and run it, and let's just see if the outcome reflects only three columns. So as expected, now we are able to see only those three columns which has got all the rows. Okay, now we can further provide the condition to this select query as well. Let's just say that I want the employee IDs which are less than 20. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just say that where employee ID, employee underscore ID is less than 20. That's what I need based on the requirement. Let's just say that. That means I'm putting a condition. After I select these rows, I'm putting an extra condition. So I'll just run this query and let's see what happens. Now, once I do that, I can see below 20, all the employee IDs are getting filtered. So that's how the select query was. As a next step, let's just say that I want only the distinct values for a particular column. Then how do I do that? Let's just say that for the data analysis purpose, all I want is the distinct job titles, because if you see here, HR manager will not appear just once. It will appear again and again. I do not want these duplicate values. All I want is a unique values or distinct values for this particular column. For that, what is the syntax? We have a very simple syntax, that is select distinct job title. So we are using the distinct keyword here for filling the data that is distinct or unique, and then we are saying job title, which is the column from which we would be pulling the data, and then from employees is the name of the table. So let's just run this, and then I'm expecting that I will get only the unique or distinct job titles. So let's just see. The moment I click on this run button, I can see that there are total 20 distinct or unique job titles available in this particular table. So I hope this has given you some idea about the basic and the most important topics: creation of DB, creation of table, inserting the values into the table, and then use of the select queries. And most importantly, I am sharing the query that I have used for creating the table and inserting the values. So you can just use that query and get started, so that you can also practice this at your end as well. Okay, thank you so much for watching.